It all began on a windy afternoon in Seattle, where Emma Lewis, a 32-year-old schoolteacher, lived with her husband, Daniel, a quiet but kind man who ran a small local repair shop. They had been married for 8 years, not a perfect marriage, but one built on mutual respect and calm understanding. Emma had always been known for her empathy. She volunteered at shelters, helped neighbors, and taught extra lessons to struggling students. But that year, life had been unusually hard. Her husband's business was suffering, their bills were stacking up, and they both felt a heavy sense of hopelessness. Then one evening, while sitting by the window, Emma saw something that changed the direction of their lives forever. Across the street, in an abandoned house, she noticed 4 men, strangers, sitting outside with only a few bags beside them. They looked exhausted, hungry, and lost. It was winter, and the Seattle rain was merciless. Emma turned to her husband. "Daniel, those men, they've been there all day." Daniel frowned. "I've seen 'em too. Probably workers with nowhere to go." Emma bit her lip. "They need help. Maybe food, at least." Daniel sighed. He wasn't the type to get involved with strangers, but he knew his wife's heart. "Okay," he said, "but please, be careful." That night, Emma carried out a pot of soup and some bread. The men stood up instantly, their faces showing both surprise and gratitude. The oldest among them introduced himself as Mark, a former construction worker. The others, Jason, Tyler, and Evan, were young men in their 20s, all victims of unfortunate layoffs from a company that had suddenly shut down. They thanked Emma endlessly. Over the next few days, Emma continued to bring them meals. Daniel watched quietly. Sometimes, he even joined her, talking with the men and learning their stories. Slowly, the couple discovered that all 4 of them had once had stable jobs, families, and dreams. But through a cruel twist of fate, company closures, debts, and a harsh job market, they ended up homeless. A new beginning. A week later, Emma suggested something that surprised even herself. "Daniel," she said one evening, "what if we help them get back on their feet?" He looked puzzled. "How?" "We have the old storage space behind the house. We can clean it up, make it livable temporarily. They could help around the neighborhood, maybe even earn a little while searching for work." Daniel hesitated. 4 grown men living near us. That's a lot to handle. "I know," Emma said softly, "but maybe that's what we're meant to do right now. To help them stand again." After a long pause, Daniel nodded. "All right, let's do it, together." And so began a remarkable chapter in their lives. The following week, Daniel helped clear the storage shed while Emma washed blankets and gathered supplies. When they told the men, tears welled up in their eyes. "You don't even know us," Mark said. Emma smiled. "Sometimes faith means helping without knowing everything. Building trust." Life soon became unexpectedly busy. The 4 men cleaned, painted, and repaired parts of the house and garden in exchange for food and shelter. Jason fixed the leaky roof, Tyler planted vegetables in the backyard, Evan painted the fence, and Mark took care of small repairs around the neighborhood, earning a few dollars here and there. Neighbors began to notice. Some whispered doubts, saying Emma and Daniel were too trusting. But the couple didn't care. They believed kindness was worth the risk. One day, Daniel came home from work looking discouraged. Another client cancelled. "I don't know how much longer I can keep the shop open." Mark, overhearing, stepped forward. "Mr. Lewis, I know a bit about auto repair. Worked in a garage for 20 years. Maybe I can help." Daniel looked surprised but agreed. That decision changed everything. With Mark's help, the repair shop began to flourish again. He brought in new techniques and helped organize the workspace. Soon, word spread that Daniel's shop was reliable, honest, and affordable. Business picked up fast. At home, the others pitched in too. Evan created a small online page for the shop, Jason built wooden benches to sell, and Tyler started fixing bicycles for kids in the neighborhood. Within months, Emma's home was full of life again. Laughter echoed in the backyard, the smell of fresh paint and bread filled the air, and there was a feeling of shared purpose. An emotional realization. One evening, as Emma watched the sunset with Daniel, she whispered, "You know, when I first brought them here, I didn't know if it was right. But now, I feel like they were meant to be part of our story. Daniel smiled. You didn't just let 4 men into our lives, Emma. You let hope back in. That night, Emma wrote in her journal. Greater than, sometimes we think helping others is about giving. But often, it's about healing ourselves through compassion. The farewell. After nearly a year, all 4 men were ready to move on. They had found stable jobs, saved money, and even rented an apartment together. On their last night at Emma's house, they gathered around the dinner table, the same one where it had all begun. Jason raised a toast with sparkling cider. To Emma and Daniel, for showing us what family truly means. Emma wiped away a tear. No, she said softly, thank you, for reminding us what faith and courage look like. As they packed their bags the next morning, the house felt strangely quiet. Yet Emma and Daniel felt proud. Their lives were richer, not because of money, but because of the hearts they had touched. Epilogue. A few years later, Emma received a letter. Inside were 4 handwritten notes, one from each man, telling how their lives had changed. Mark had opened his own repair shop. Jason was married and working as a carpenter. Tyler had become a youth counselor. Evan was studying digital design. At the bottom of the letter were just a few simple words. Greater than, thank you for believing in us when no one else did. Emma placed the letter in a frame beside her favorite quote. Greater than, you never lose by being kind. As she looked at it, Daniel walked in, smiling. Still thinking about them. She nodded. Always. They weren't just 4 men who came into our lives, they were 4 blessings in disguise. Speech balloon moral of the story. Kindness doesn't just change the lives of those you help, it transforms your own heart too.